Hello, and Pockets here, back again playing some more EVE Online, once again on Cassandra, and in this episode we are going to finish up the Advanced Military Career, and that'll make us ready for whatever the next step is, and I have some thoughts on that, and we'll probably talk about it in this episode or the next. Well, definitely the next, because we'll be doing it in the next. But let's just see what we've got going on. Beep Bop is ready to go. I am coming off almost a week of not being able to play. My laptop went into the shop for some more repair. But everything seems to be running great now, so fingers crossed that it holds. That looked more like a middle finger than fingers crossed, but I assure you I've crossed my fingers. Let's get into it. Don't look back. 6 of 10. 5 more. Afterburner. Oh, okay, yeah, so there's a damage cloud. You have to fly through it with the afterburner, so you go through it fast enough not to die. Let's make sure we have... Whoops, let's accept the mission. Let's accept the mission. This will give us a civilian afterburner. I think we had an afterburner on here already. We have a micro warp drive. We'll do it with that. I wonder if that'll work. Let's throw the civilian on here in case for some reason it decides it doesn't want to give us credit for it, like with the warp scrambler. And let's just do this. I want to get these 5 missions done so we can move on to the next step. Typically a new player, next step would be to do the Sisters of Eve epic arc, the Bloodstained Stars. And I am highly considering skipping that myself, even though it should be done by every new player. I do already have a video of me running through the epic arc on my previous alpha series. Cursed ran through it all. So I don't feel like I'll be skipping too bad. I can just link to that, and you guys, if you want to see it, can watch it there. I'm thinking I might skip that because I mean I know what I'm doing for the most part, as much as anyone can really know what they're doing in EVE. So I feel like I could probably safely skip the epic arc and move on to what I want to do, which is starting on Combat Anomalies. So we'll probably end up just doing that, skipping the epic arc and moving to the Combat Anomalies. But definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you want to see me grind through the epic arc again, I can do that. Not really grind through it. It's fun. I do the epic arc on Cursed every 3 months, because you can do it every 3 months, and it's really good for your faction standings for the 4 factions, or whatever faction you choose, due to the way the last sort of chain of missions works. But again, if you want to see that, you can already look. I'll try to remember to put a link to where it starts. It's like 10 episodes or something into my previous alpha series with Cursed. If you don't see a link in the description, remind me, and I will get that for you. But we'll probably be skipping the Bloodstained Stars, moving straight into Anomic Agents. That's the other thing I got to get back to, but you know, stuff. We're just gonna fly straight through here. We're gonna put our micro warp drive on so we go faster. We are gonna take damage. I have a remote repair. So approach the station, I guess. There we go. That was all it was. So we did it with a micro warp drive, so we were fast. We can turn that off and warp in. Starting with anomalies, combat anomalies, the ones you don't have to scan down, and then working our way up to doing the escalations and the ones that you scan down. There's a fair bit that we have to get to before we can really well do the escalations really well. We're going to want a cruiser, probably a Vexor to start, and we can do at least the Narcotics Warehouse, I think, is the one that we can do pretty safely in a Vexor. But yeah, so I'm thinking I'll skip the Bloodstained Stars in favor of getting to those quicker. I can always, if I need to, inject. I got all the skill points, so I think we can do it. We can do the base stuff with just a frigate, or maybe an Algos, just to do the anomalies. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But first we have to get through the military career, and then we can start worrying about, we'll fit up our first ship and go do some of those, and we'll talk about that. Complete the mission. Next mission. Weapon of choice. Use drones. We'll provide you with a civilian. Oh, so he wants us to finish them off with the civilian drones. So we do have to use these civilian hobgoblin garbos, which means we have to make... No, we can fit them both in. Civilian hobgoblins. Okay. Luckily we're in the Tristan, so there's lots of drone room. That's going to work out well for us, I think. Put these in their own little bin for now. For civilians, we'll go finish this off. So this is kind of teaching how to use drones. Right click, move to, and then you can create a group. That's how I did that, right? Right click, move to new group. So you can create your little groups. Helps organize them, so you can just click the whole group out. Really works well when you have a variety of drones and you want to bring them out in different sort of... It's easier than having just 20 drones and having to select your 5 that you want to bring out type of deal. So I'd highly recommend that. Let's see what else we can talk about. We'll lock this guy out. We'll bring out our civilian drones. The F key by default on your keyboard is to send your drones after your targets. So you can see right now, there they are. If I press F, they'll go chase them down and shoot them. So I pressed it. There they go. This says they're fighting. There they go. Shift R to recall the drones if you want to bring them back into your bay, like right now. Shift R, and they'll come back and they'll dock up. And there is a hotkey for launching the drones. I always forget to use it. I'll look it up later. So I could set one of these as my favorite. So I could set this as my favorite. Mark as favorite. And you can see it gets a special icon. Wonder if it'll tell me. Launch drone. Shift F. There we go. So if I hold Shift and press F, it'll launch that group. So I don't have to drag them out, which is really nice as well. So you can favorite your group. I always forget to use it. It was something I never learned to use early on, much like the radial menus, but there we have it. A couple other notes through the series that I should have been talking about. Early on, if you really need ISK, looting everything and salvaging it can be a source of ISK. I still find just running the missions faster or running the sites faster is a better payoff in the end. So like once we start doing the exploration missions, staying to loot and salvage is less of a benefit than grinding out and trying to get those big one-off payoffs, in my experience. And I mean, I used to run combat anomalies and signatures in high sec, low sec, and null sec as like a primary career path, and almost never salvaged. What you're looking for is the big payouts from the faction drones and the big payouts from the escalations. And typically, the faster you can run the sites and get onto the next site, the more money over time you're going to make. Plus, the only time I salvage anything, honestly, is when my industry guys need salvage for rig construction, and they put out a call, and I'll go salvage a bunch of crap. But we can play around with that. We can maybe try to fit up. Maybe we don't need guns on our Vexor, and we'll just use drones and salvagers, and we can do like an all-in-one for at least the base sites, and we'll switch to guns for the escalations, something like that, just to see what we can do. But keeping in mind that that's more training, that's more setup cost. Not that the setup cost is a huge deal, but definitely the training, especially as an alpha, is a little bit to train into properly salvaging with any speed. The other thing is for the missions. So we've seen 2 now where the ship gets destroyed. And I completely forgot, because it's something I don't do unless I'm going into PvP. I typically only do it for like station defense or attacking fleets or doing PvP roams, is ensuring the ship. So what we should have done, and I'll show it to you here now, we have our beep bop here. If we were going to go out and do one of those missions where we're going to get destroyed, we go here, ship insurance. We're going to choose beep bop. And you can see here, yes, here's our little deals, right? So what you can do, and you have to check each ship because they'll be different. Some ships aren't worth insuring, like the Gnosis and Praxis, because it's based on the mineral costs and current market values and stuff like that, and the Praxis is like 1 trade or something silly to make, so the insurance isn't. But here, if I insure it, I pay 119,000, and if the ship gets destroyed, they will pay out 398,000. Factors in the material cost of the hull only, not the materials, not the loot, not the ammo, none of that, but the materials that go into the hull. So here we could have made like 280 grand almost, or if we had insured those 2 ships that we lost, we probably could have made like almost $500,000. So if you're definitely if you're new and you know that's the mission, I typically don't do it because a lot of my ships get used once or twice and then sit in the hangar until I need them again, because I usually bring them out to test in events. Realistically, I should be insuring my Anomic Agent mission ships, but to be honest, the payout like 200,000 ISK isn't it's pocket change for me now, so I don't usually worry about it unless I know there's a good chance I'm going to lose the ship, as I said. But for those 2 missions where you definitely lose the hull, and if we see a 3rd one, I'll try to remember to do it. But remember to insure your ship if you're pretty sure it's going to get exploded, because you can make some ISK. I mean, realistically, you can go up here. This is actually probably even a... this one's not quite as good. Here'd be a good one. That's 200,000. It's not 280,000 though. But yeah, so you could go with any of these levels. The idea is just that you get paid out more. Helps you replace the hull. But yeah, definitely do that. So that was definitely brought up a couple of times to me after my last few videos, so definitely do that. Looting and salvaging, if you enjoy looting and getting the loot, especially early on, highly recommend it, because you can use a lot of those modules on your ships, and we probably should be looting, and we'll start doing that maybe for the rest of these missions when we're actually killing things. Not on dock. A good thing I double clicked it. So maybe I could have been looting it just for the extra ISK, but again, I'm looking at my wallet now. 900 million, we're good. I can fit up a pretty decent little frigate with what we have plus 900 million, so I'm not too worried about it. Fleet warfare, local anti-piracy, take orders from the local order. Okay, so we'll have to watch local, I think, for this one, because that's where we're going to get our not local, might be local. We're going to warp out, and we have to listen to the instructions from our FC. This doesn't do an amazing job. It's, oops, double clicked it. Spamming is a thing. I spam a lot. But yeah, I've been enjoying doing this series. I do occasionally like setting up a new character and running through all the stuff just to see what's changed. Not a lot has changed here. The tutorial's a little different. But I did get a lot of requests on a new alpha to do a new alpha series, so here we are. I know some people think that I'm wasting my time running through the tutorials because, I mean, it's pretty easy. But it's a playthrough. This is what roughly a new player experience would be. I mean, obviously I have almost 10 years experience. I know sometimes it doesn't show, but I do have it. I'm not a perfectionist. I don't learn to do things perfectly, so a lot of things don't stick in my mind. That's the biggest problem for me. But I save that room for other things. Alright, we're here. There's no FC on grid here, so we got to go into the gate, I think. Normally you wait for the FC to tell you to jump the gate, but... What did that say? No, it's too late. Oh, I still got all my freaking civilian crap on here. We'll deal with that for the next episode. We'll start actually trying to fit things to some reasonable level. In a moment we're going to request... It's going to be here. Pirates relocate the hostage to the prison facilities you see up ahead. Can I please? No, okay. I wish I could just make this bigger. I don't know why it's not letting me. The moment they're done that, I want you to charge towards... Oops, scroll too far. The prison and get them out. Do not fire on anyone or anything. Your only objective is to secure the prisoners. Move, move, move. Okay. So reading the mission things does help learn what to do. That's something to keep in mind. A lot of people do get stuck on missions and in the tutorial, and all they really have to do is read the mission. I know reading's boring, but sometimes they give you those details. Okay. I've looted everything. Is it going to dock? Yeah, there we go. See, that was pretty simple. Just follow the instructions. Super basic. It's a lot more complicated than that. If you're interested in fleet stuff, once you're done the tutorial, definitely come check out Malro. Our guys run fleets. There's always something going on. There's like almost an official, well, there is an official sort of Imperium fleet, we call it, to run invasions, which is a good way to learn fleet stuff. And then a lot of that stuff translates well over to the PvP fleets now, which is pretty awesome. That a lot of the PvE stuff is starting to sort of lean, not perfectly, still lots of room for that to happen, but lean more towards usable in PvP information, which is great. So if working with a fleet is of interest to you, come check us out. We'll get you set up. Highly recommend you finish the Career Agents and the Bloodstained Stars first, however. I mean, you can join us before, but definitely do that. Rambling on. It's been a week. I don't even remember what I talked about last time, so we're just going to talk. I covered the looting and salvaging. I covered the insurance. Those were the big ones from the last one. let's request the next mission. We're up 9 of 10. We've got 2 more to do. We're going to burn through this quite nicely. Glue, here's a mission suited for someone of your caliber. We're returning to interdiction tactics by having you test out a stasis webifier module. A little more useful in most PvE applications. Activated on the ship, it'll encase the containment field to slow it down. Okay, and it wants me to use... wants us to hit him with the stasis, the civilian one. Yeah, don't use stasis webifier on the police. That's probably a bad idea. Okay, so we're going to put that on. We're going to drop off the civilian this guy. And the civilian this guy, because they're kind of useless. Civilian modules are of no use outside the tutorial. We'll be trashing all those. And they gave us a webifier down here somewhere. Right here. It's a mid-slot item, you can tell. We'll get into it when we start fitting up our ship for stuff, but the icon tells you sort of what slot it goes into. Mid-slot, high slot, low slot. We'll get into that in detail later. Let's undock and do this mission, and we'll be 1 mission away from finishing up the advanced military career and our career agents. So the other thing you could do, as I've talked about before, is go do the other career agents as well for each of the races and get a whole bunch of assets. I'm also going to skip that, but if you're wanting just a little more practice, that's not a bad idea. Although level 1 missions aren't all that hard either. So you could just move straight into doing the Bloodstained stars and then level 1 missions after that. What else? And all this will be stuff that I talk about when I do my new player primer from my point of view. Obviously it's going to be a lot of my opinion on things and opinions of people that I talk to, but I think it's worth doing it. A lot of people seem to benefit from the discussions we have had, so on that note, if you do as a new player have questions, or as a vet, stuff that people keep asking you that you think I should probably cover, then definitely let me know in the comment section down below, and I will add those to my list of things to try and cover. I can't guarantee they'll all make it, but... So what's our range on the civvy? 10 kilometers. So we're going to close in to 10 kilometers on him. We got to chase him down before he warps away. Oh no, he's trying to get away. There we go. He's probably going to slingshot us because we have our micro warp drive on, so I'm going to turn that off now that we've got him webbed down. You can see his speed is low. Well, not that low, but there we go. Stand down. They'll take it from here. Got him. There, they blew him up. Get out of here before. There's Concord. Oh, the Marshal. I should get my Marshal built. I don't think I'd ever undock in it. Such a gank magnet, but I kind of want one. I have the other two. Concord ships already built, so maybe one day I'll build my Marshal and we can tether it outside one of the stations and be like, oh look, shiny. It's a very expensive ship, some billions for the hull. What else? I actually sniped a Marshal blueprint off the HyperNet once for fairly cheap, so that's pretty cool. The only real luck I've had on the HyperNet these days. If you don't know what the HyperNet is, don't worry about it yet. We can talk about it in a future video. We can look at it as a sort of... I'm not an expert on it. Maybe I'll get someone on to talk about it that uses it all the time, but it's pretty cool. Little deal. I don't recommend it for a new player because you don't have a real good idea what things are worth necessarily. Once you've got that, though, it can be a fun way to gamble away some ISK and maybe get a good deal on something. I've lost all my Tengus. I've been trying to get a good deal on a Tengu. Because I lent my Tengu out some time ago and it got blowed up. I need to replace it. On my main, obviously, not something an alpha can fly. Last one. 20 minutes. Wow, we did that. Burned that through that quick. Step back, letting this... On this one, let you take control of the situation. One of the patrols spotted a small group of suspicious vessels headed towards local pleasure hub. We determined one of those is a known terrorist. Concord raid on the premises would be picked up by the terrorists well before. So basically go in and kill the terrorist leader. And we're going to get a catalyst hull. Love the catalyst. A good little ship to start with. We'll probably want to sell everything and try to get us an Algos though. To be completely honest. Did I put a training? I think I did set up my training queue. It died while my laptop was down, so I powered that up yesterday while I was testing all the things. So we're doing the drone sort of support skills. I noticed actually that drone durability is actually quite low on Kel, which is kind of funny because he's got like 80 million SP and he still only has drone durability to like 2 or 3. So I'm gonna be fixing that. Don't forget your support skill; those are important. All right, let's just make sure we're combat ready in this baby. We got our railguns. We don't want the civilian web, and we don't have a normal one. I don't know what else we put in the mid slot. Let's see. Nothing. Don't really need anything. We could dual prop, but these are both civilian units. Yeah, no, that's good there. Low slots are fine and dandy, and no rigs. Okay, we're good. We have ammo. We have ammo a little bit. Do we have any more ammo? Let's go ahead and put those in there. Those are the ones we had, right? Okay, well, we have a little bit of iron, a little bit of lead. In case we need it, we're good to go. Bring this back down to there and undock. And we'll put our Tristan to use. So everything we're doing, any of the races can do these just fine. Some of the stuff, like, I'm trying to decide if I want to move. I'm thinking of moving to Caldari space to do the anomics because I haven't done Caldari stuff in a long time. My first character that doesn't exist anymore lived in Caldari space, and that was in like 2008 plus, from 2008 to 2000. I deleted him in 2012 and then took 2 years off, something like that. I biomassed him in a fit rage quit, never coming back, and then came back. You know, that's what Eve does. No one ever quits forever. They can quit for a long time, but she never really quit. Very few people give it up all the way. I know people that play through like Discord and YouTube. They don't actually play the game, but they still keep up on it. It's pretty cool. It's a really, there's lots of depth if you really want to get into it. And that's my favorite thing about it, is that even if the gameplay you're kind of getting burned out on it, there's always something to follow, someone to talk to, something new to do, even if you don't log into the game for a week. Alright, we're at the beacon. There's some ships. Let's go chase them down. There's our terrorist leader. We're gonna go straight for him. Lock him first. There's 2 of those. There's that. Let's get our non-civilian drones out. What's our range on these? They should be able to reach the leader. Let's close the distance because we can't shoot that far. We shoot out to 6.7. Whoops, I didn't mean to turn that off. Pulse it again. We're going to orbit him at 1,000. That'll be good. Okay, we can turn this off now. They're webbing us. That's what these icons mean. They're webbing us and scramming us. So we can't warp away, and we're going slow. We're going to take down this leader. F to make sure the drones are on him. They are good. Popping them. Here comes the explosion. A little bit of bounties. Not much. Get 5,000 for this guy, and we're going to get 5,000 for each of these. Cool. No drones. You should be on focus fire. I want my drones on the same target. So you saw how right there the drones split. Some of them went to this guy and some of them went to this guy. It's because I had them on aggressive, but I didn't have focus fire checked. If you pick focus fire, the first one that triggers will pull all the drones. Because usually what they'll do is target the one that's the biggest threat at the time that they're looking for a new target. And that's why they split sometimes if you don't have focus fire on. We're just sitting here. We're just kind of doing our thing, but we can close in on this guy. He's kind of outside our range, but we are hitting him. There we go. Shift R to return the drones. Can always radio manual as well if you hold right click on here. Right? But there we go. That is the rest of the missions done. So now I have to make a decision on what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to sell a lot of stuff. And then I'm going to put the rest of it in the Iteron. I might bring the catalyst. I think maybe we'll just start with a catalyst. I don't know yet. I'm going to think about it. I really do want to do an Algos. So we can quickly talk about this since we have a few seconds. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to skip Bloodstained Stars. So I'm going to recommend that after this, go watch my other series. I'll put a link down in the description down below. I'll try to remember to pop a card up at about this point, if I remember. If I don't, yell at me. I'll get you the link. But I ran through the whole Bloodstained Stars arc on Cursed, mission by mission, and it's still the same. So if you want to go look at that, then do that. And we are going to start in the next episode with whatever our first step is into high-sec combat anomalies. I do intend at some point to take it down to low-sec and see what we can do as well. See if we can do some combat anomalies and some officer ratting down there. And just sort of talk about what you're looking for. And I'll look at belt ratting. There's all sorts of things you can do in this space that aren't missions and aren't Abyss and aren't invasions. So it's the space I'm looking to explore. What I'm thinking of doing, however, is we're going to get a catalyst here. So let's do that. Complete the mission. And then we do also still have a destroyer class starship here, which may be an Algos, maybe it's a catalyst. It's going to be one of the two. We have a blueprint for a cruiser, so I'm going to keep this as well, because we can build... If this is a Vexor, that's perfect. If it's a Thorax, we can make it work. Anything else I probably won't worry about. But we'll see. But that's that. So I'm thinking... And the reason I'm thinking Algos is because it is a drone ship. And it is one of my favorite destroyers in the entire game. I love the hull. I love the way it flies. I just like the way it looks. It's got really good skins. I'll have to get this skin for it or something, because I'm a skin person. This skin's really good in my colors. I really like this. I want it. You know, all sorts of good skins. But it's a drone boat. It's bonused for 10% bonus to hit points and damage for drones, and small hybrid tracking. May or may not fit hybrids on it. Often I fit projectiles, but I haven't trained any of those yet. And then we also get a 25% bonus to drone max velocity, so they get to the targets quicker. It does cause some tracking issues, but it seems to be okay. So we'll probably do that. The Catalyst is just a glass cannon. The difference between them is it's all about the turrets, which is fine too. We do like a blaster catalyst or a rail catalyst, but it's a cool ship, like a flying wing type of deal. But yeah, that is probably what we're going to do in the next episode, and I'm going to find a place to move because I haven't been to Caldari space as a home in quite some time. But that finishes up the advanced military career and kind of outlines what we're going to do going forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. And as always, take care, and we'll see you all next time. I'm out of here.